Live from Cameron University, this is Election Night 08 with Cecilio Ramirez and Kyle Luters. And now, here's Cecilio Ramirez and Kyle Luters.
And welcome back to our live continuing election night coverage here at CUInternetTV. I'm Kyle Luters. While we were at break, a couple more states have been declared. Barack Obama has won Ohio and the battleground state of New Mexico. Senator John McCain has also won Alabama and Wyoming in some crucial races across the state. In North Carolina, we have Barack Obama leading with 1.652 million votes compared to John McCain's 1.6 million votes. And in Virginia, it's a dead heat. They are locked within 10,000 votes of each other. And this is just getting very exciting. The total electoral vote count right now is Barack Obama has 199 electoral votes compared to Senator John McCain's 78 votes. And right now I'd like to welcome onto our set Dr. Justin Walton. He is our senior political analyst right here. And Dr. Walton, one of the things that I would like to ask you is, how does the Electoral College work?
Well, that's a very good question, Kyle. A lot of people ask that question. What is the Electoral College and how does it work? Well, the United States Constitution created an institution called the Electoral College. The system was originally designed to keep the popular passions from steering the United States government. The number of electors per state is equal to the combined number of United States senators and representatives from that state for a grand total of 538. You only need 270 electoral votes to win. Oklahoma, of course, has 7 of those. So when voters actually choose their president, when they go in and vote, what they are actually doing is they are voting for pledged delegates. And so here is the Oklahoma ballot. You can see electors for the Republicans and electors for the Democrats. And altogether, again, these delegates would then pledge their votes to the Electoral College, and again, you only need 270 to win.
Dr. Walton, one quick question for you. We keep hearing about the voter turnout being great this year and being one of the, if not the greatest, one of the greatest of all time. How will this year's voter turnout compare to previous years?
Well, it's going to break a number of records. I've pulled a few of the voter turnouts from previous elections. In 2004, we had 55.4% of the voting age population that actually voted. We do know in 2000 we had roughly 50%. The most recent high, other than 2004, was in 1992 when we had 55.2%. In 1960, we had a whopping 62.8%. Already this year, we think that close to 23 million people have voted early through absentee or early voting in those states that allow it. So I think we're going to break all kinds of records. It's very exciting to be in this system of governance.
All right, Dr. Walton, before we get back to our last question for you, we would like to declare that Barack Obama has just won the state of Iowa, raising his electoral vote count to 206. And Dr. Walton, the last question that we have for you here, what are citizens voting on this year? What have been some of the key issues on these ballots?
Well, that's another very good question, Kyle. Thank you for asking. People that are supporting Obama are voting on his message of change. People that are voting for John McCain are voting on experience, and we're finding that in almost all of the polls that we're running. Now, one interesting thing that Obama has done, it has been part of his overall strategy, is to try to couple McCain-Palin with George Bush, and now here is why. Roughly 80 to 90% of Americans feel that the country is presently headed in the wrong direction. That represents the incumbent party, and that would be President George Bush. Secondly, we know that Bush has a very high non-approval rating. 55% of the American public give him an unfavorable rating at this time. So if you couple that with McCain-Palin, it tends to drag down McCain's overall support, and it seems as though that message is resonating with voters.
All right, we'd like to send a special thanks out to the Cameron Collegiate. They've been working so hard putting our website together, but they've also been working hard on putting together some great graphics on the show. Right now, Kyle and Dr. Walton will be at the Plasma to analyze some of our graphics.
Thank you, Cecilia. And we're going to talk about a couple of things here, Dr. Walton. First, the state of Pennsylvania, we've already declared it for Senator Obama, But let's talk about, this was quite a bit of a swing state. I know that Senators McCain, Governor Palin spent a lot of time in the state trying to wrestle it away from the Democrats.
Absolutely. This was one that we thought would be a little bit tighter than this. At this time, it seems as though Barack Obama is getting around 63% of the popular vote. But again, over the past 2 or 3 weeks, McCain-Palin has spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. They ran a good number of ads here. They thought that they had a possibility, Kyle, of winning this. But we did know this. McCain needed to win Pennsylvania. And it looks as though at this time that Barack Obama wins it. It's going to be a tough night for John McCain.
Okay, and 21 electoral votes, that's very big. Ohio has also swung to the Obama side. So we're talking, what, 43 electoral votes between both states? That's quite a bit of a deficit to make up.
It is. It's going to be tough. John McCain is in a bit of a sudden death situation. He cannot afford to lose any of these toss-up states. And so he needs to virtually sweep all of the toss-ups that remain on the map. It's going to be very difficult to do.
Okay, and let's talk about the sort of the devil's child of elections. Let's talk about Florida.
Okay.
We got Florida, as always, has been one of the great, how do I want to say this? Well, I'll let you describe it, Dr. Walton.
Well, we're never quite sure what's going on here. And, of course, we all remember Florida from the 2000 race. It was originally called for Gore, then it went back to Bush, and then Gore back and forth, and that became the point of contention in that 2000 court case. Anyway, the thing about Florida is we're not going to know what goes on here. The polling data shows that it's a virtual dead heat here. We probably won't know Florida until tomorrow. So, again, it's too early to call. It's a tough one. We do know that there's a corridor here of Florida where the candidates have spent a great amount of time. Last week, President Bill Clinton campaigned for Barack Obama, and they're trying to get as much support as they can. They think, this is the interesting thing, Florida went for President Clinton in both 1992 and 1996. But George Bush has won it in 2000 and 2004. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year.
Okay, now, hypothetically speaking here, if John McCain, is this a state he has to win in order to get the presidency?
I think so. Since Pennsylvania seems to be going for Obama, this is a must-win state for John McCain.
All right, well, let's take a look at our broad election night map here at CUTV. We get that pulled up. Here we go. Right now, this is what we have reporting. We need to update it. But, okay, we know that New Mexico has gone for Obama. I just looked at Kansas and Louisiana have gone for McCain. Iowa was a toss-up state as well, and it went for Obama. What are the rest of the key states, the swing states, that McCain has to win in order to get this election?
Well, Missouri is going to be very important. John McCain needs to win Missouri. He also needs to pick up Colorado, if possible. Another thing, we go back to Ohio. Ohio has a good number of electoral votes. He must win there as well. And, of course, we're always interested in what's going on in West Virginia and Virginia. A great amount of time was spent in both of those states. We do know New York has not been colored in on this map, but we think that New York will definitely go for Barack Obama.
And we just recently found out that Ohio has gone blue for Obama. Virginia and North Carolina, very close races to call right now. Same with Missouri. Like we've said, New Mexico has gone blue. Barack Obama has a commanding lead out in Colorado right now. And Cecilio, we're getting ready for a tight election night here. Back to you at the desk.
Yeah, once again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us for our election coverage tonight. I have a special announcement to make. What I hold here in my hand is a very special prediction, the only prediction that counts, Dr. Walton's prediction. Later on in the show, we will reveal it and open the tight sealed envelope. Once again, we'd like to let you know cunews.wetpaint.com is the place to go right now. You can check out all our live coverage as well as post blogs and be a part of a discussion board. I'm Cecilia Ramirez. Until 10 o'clock, we'll see you here at the CUTV studio.